How you prepare for a golf tournament?
Well, I hit balls maybe 20 minutes, putt a little bit, smoke 4 or 5 cigarettes, drink 3 Diet Cokes, and go to the first tee. Some days I won't even go to the range.
Here we go. It's the Daily Puck Drop. It's the DPD, and he's back. It's Jim Moore, the go-to guy. We're in the Puck Sports Studios built by Limback Lumber. Summer is here. That means deck and fence season. Contact the fine folks at Limback Lumber, 206-782-3487, or visit them online at limbacklumber.com. Puck Sports Studios built by Limback Lumber. Well, I wish we would have had the first 30, 40 minutes of this recorded. It has been a train wreck today as we record this on Wednesday. I don't know whose fault. I think it's my fault. I don't know what it is. I'm going to blame Jim, but I don't think I can blame you. I can't blame you on Monday.
Yeah, you can blame me if you want, because I had 3 browsers open or whatever. And so maybe that was the issue. If I'm you, I'm blaming me and saying, "Oh God, you know."
No, but on Monday,
why don't you tell everybody what you said when we were off the air, though? You know, all these problems started when we brought you back.
Yeah,
they should have never done that. I don't know who's worse, you or Kruger.
Yeah, all those things are true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you paying Bill?
Barely.
Well, you are paying him though.
Yeah.
He's getting something. Well,
Yeah.
What are you paying me?
Well, I paid. You got paid for the last 3 months.
That wasn't you paying me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
So in other words,
in essence,
you're not paying me shit. Okay, you're not paying me.
In
anything.
essence, and you know what?
You're not paying me anything. So if you have to deal with some issues, okay.
Do you think you owe me a little bit?
Do I think I owe you?
You think you owe me just a little bit?
Okay. How many more times do you want me to tell you I appreciate your friendship and the gesture that you did? And
do you have the right microphone set?
Oh, shit. I have no idea. God, let's just go. I mean, you have to finish by 9:30.
Yeah. How are you, sir?
Fine. Is there something wrong with my mic?
No, it sounds good. It sounds good. Okay. I like the fact that you're once again inside the laundry room.
Yeah. Can you see the ironing board back there?
Yeah. Do you ever use the ironing board?
I have never ironed.
Does anyone
practically in my life? I've never ironed.
I was going to say, does anyone really iron anymore?
Yeah, I think people
do
iron.
You? Well, it's kind of like a lot. The ironing is kind of a lost art form, is it not?
Well, I wouldn't know.
Because you've never ironed before in your life.
No, if something when I used to travel for the Sonics, and this is probably everybody knows this, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Want a tip? Are you interested?
I'm not really, but okay.
Are you bored yet?
No, what you do? Hold on. You didn't hear this yesterday. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've missed that. I've really missed that. Hey, what's going on with the voicemails, by the way, before I make my
They're there. I mean,
point. Have we heard from Jamal?
We have not heard from Jamal. Again, the voicemail line is open. It's at pucksports.com. It's on the upper right-hand corner. The phone number is there. You leave. It's like a Google voicemail. You leave a number. It goes right to a voicemail box, and I can just pull them out. The number is 425-577-7272. But if you can't remember it, if you're just listening to this, you just go to pucksports.com. It's in the upper right-hand corner. You can see it there. No, Jamal hasn't been back. Nance has been... Who? Nance has been back. Dugar has been back.
Oh, we got Dugar back?
Yeah, I want Depoto. Dugar did a post-draft recap, which was great.
Did he have a bunch of 6-syllable words?
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah. I'm on my couch in Kent.
Haven't heard from Stanton. I'd like to hear from Stanton because he's got dual roles. Right, because now he's the president of the business operations. Because
did he take that job?
Because Katie Grigg said, "I've seen enough. I'm out of here."
Wait, they're not going to replace her?
Well, I think they're going to replace her eventually, but not. I mean, not right now. I think it sounds like, from some people I've talked to, it sounds like it caught them, not that she was going to leave, but I think it caught them off guard that she was taking a job with the Orioles.
Well, how about not cool to do it mid-season?
Well, what's going on with her personal life? I don't know.
Well,
what if there's something that's...
I mean, she talked about, her husband's from the East Coast or something? Maybe she's from the East Coast?
She is. She's from North Carolina. So, I mean, the statement was, I want to be closer to family. I mean, maybe somebody's sick in her family or something else is going on. I'm just speculating. Yeah. So maybe that's why she wants to move back there. I mean... I mean, in this day and age, right, we're doing it right now. We're working remotely. I don't know why you couldn't finish out the year working remotely. and then move on to a new job. I just find it odd that you leave mid-season as the president of the business side of things to then quickly go join another team. That's odd to me.
Yeah, with 2.5 months left in the season. Yeah,
I think there's more to the story than that is being led on publicly. That's just me.
Probably. I agree with you.
But it's not going to affect on the field stuff. I mean, she doesn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah, but more importantly, I think people are on the edge of their seats wondering what that ironing tip is.
Oh yeah, what's the ironing tip?
When you're in a hotel room, you go in the bathroom, you turn on the shower as hot as it'll go, and you shut the door, and you just hang your clothes up there.
Yeah.
On the shower rod.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I've
heard
that.
That's all I ever do. And if something is so wrinkled, I'm going to wear something if it's wrinkled anyway.
Yeah.
But God, people are uptight about that.
I used to.
I feel like I iron more wrinkles in than I wrinkle out. Iron them out.
Yeah.
Don't you when you try and do it?
Well, no. I mean, when you do it, you get a nice, crisp, clean look. But yeah, it's just a lot of time. I don't know. Not worth it.
Not worth it. There's a chance you might burn your finger on the iron.
I just think it's the time and effort I don't want to put in. Not so much burning my finger, but. God, this is great. We got a lot of great feedback on the first episode on Monday. Boy, there was a lot of people watched, a lot of people listened. Everyone was excited to have you back.
That's great to hear. I appreciate that. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Sure,
to be missed.
I felt like we picked up right where we left off.
Well, that's what good friends do, don't they?
Yeah,
when you don't see somebody for a while, you just kind of pick up. And I haven't ripped you about going to Dairy Queen. Or anything yet. Like, I haven't fat shamed you or anything.
It's coming.
And you haven't even said anything about me being old.
Not yet. No.
Well, how come? I mean, I'm 67 now.
Because
when I worked with you before, I was 66.
You're living your best life in Bend. That's why.
I am.
You're having the greatest time in the world. That's the one thing. That Dairy Queen I'm talking about in Woodinville, right? Right off the exit.
I do.
I went there every night. That's one of the reasons why I'm disappointed we got knocked out of the All-Star tournament. Just so I'm disappointed I can't go there after the game.
I'm with you. Every time I drive by a Dairy Queen, I praise myself. I pat myself on the back. It's hard not to go there because I'm with you on the blizzards. Oh. The burgers really are underrated there.
It's a great burger.
Yeah, the burger. I mean that. What is that one? That spicy one? I usually get that one.
I mean, the burgers are great. The little chicken strips are great for the kids, but that damn blizzard. Here's what I love about the blizzard. And I love this little trick that they do. There's a couple of things that I love about some of these fast food places. Like I love when you go to Dick's drive-in and you give them a 20. And even today, they got to put it up. Changing 20 like you're going to use a counterfeit 20 at Dick's.
They do that every time.
They do it every time, and I don't know why that little thing of them holding the $20 bill up gets me every time. It just does. It's just such a throwback. It gets me. But you know what I love what Dairy Queen does? Is that when they make their blizzard, before they hand it to you, you notice how they turn it upside down? They do it every time. They turn, see? Look at that. God, I just love that. And I'm like, yeah, that's mine. Give it to me. I had 5 straight nights I had that damn thing.
And you figured out how to eat the blizzard while you're driving.
No, I would always sit there. I would sit inside the Dairy Queen because it was so hot that I needed AC. And I'm in the van, and it doesn't have AC. I wanted to sit inside, cool down after being on a baseball field that was 120 degrees all week.
Yeah, the other thing I like about a Dairy Queen is it always tells you that you're in a small town. Doesn't it?
Well,
I mean, Dairy Queens are generally speaking in small towns.
Yeah, but not the Woodinville one. That's not a small town. But
but when it was built, when the Dairy Queen went in there, Woodinville was a small town.
So Woodinville's a lovely place. I'm not gonna lie.
Woodinville's nice.
Spending a week out there, it's a lovely, lovely place. Yeah. Really enjoyed it.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, you're probably on some nice fields out there.
Yeah, have you ever been on the North Shore Athletic Field?
No.
No, they're beautiful. They're like 5-6 fields. Great. Just awesome. Good job there by the people that put that on. All right. Well, the Mariners offense woke up last night, huh? I bet you got some news and notes there on the Mariners. That was fun to see. It was fun. Look at all those notes. God, it's unbelievable. Yeah. You're a professional. I do remember that.
Look at the different colors.
You handwrite all your notes. Do you do this all the time, or are you just picking this back up? Were you still doing this even though we weren't doing the show? Folks,
what do you think?
I don't know. Listeners, he's holding up a spiral notebook with handwritten notes from the Mariners game last night. Yeah. 13 hits. Your boy Julio went 4 for 4, had a home run. Cal Raleigh with 2 home runs, 1 from each side, huh? That's what it's supposed to look like, Jim Moore.
That is what it's supposed to look like. And the thing about Raleigh that's been really encouraging this year, among other things, is seeing the power from the right-hand side.
Right.
Because I looked it up. Before this year, 51 home runs left-handed, 6 home runs right-handed.
Right.
And this year, 10 home runs left-handed, 7 right-handed.
Were we doing this? Did we have him on the radio show one time, and did I ask him, hey, have you ever thought about just always hitting left-handed?
Yeah, I think you did. We were down at Jimmy's.
That's right.
And he was plugging something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. But he was like, no. And he wanted to say that's a stupid question. But that,
we had Cal when he was a bad interview early on in his career. But he's gotten good now. He's gotten better.
He has gotten
better. He's not great. Like last night, he was, fair to middling.
He was okay.
I thought the same thing that Angie did when he got the water poured over his head and he had the headphones on. And I could hear Angie in the back of my mind going, oh, my God, those headphones are expensive.
Well, they are expensive. That's a
short out.
That's a $1,500 headphone, I believe.
Is that what it is?
Something like that. Those are pretty nice. Oh, yeah. What'd you think? They still struck out 11 times, but whatever. They got an 8-3 win. They beat Padres, who were playing great. They've maintained their lead now in the West. They're still up by 2 on Houston, 5.5 on Texas. Both those teams won last night. What'd you think of Julio hitting cleanup? I had to go back and look. It's only the 11th game he's ever started hitting cleanup.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, you got to keep him there now, don't you? I mean, he was the prototypical cleanup hitter last night.
Beat the shit out of the ball last night, man. And did you see that stat, that note? That was his first home run. So it's 9th of the season, first home run on a breaking ball.
Oh, wow. Well, boy, don't throw a breaking ball like that again to him. No, it seems like he's coming out of it, doesn't it? I mean, he's had He's 6 for his last 11 or something like that.
Well, these months are his best months. If you go look at historically, right, in Baseball Reference, July and August, this is when he gets cooking. And they said it last. I think Gilbert said in the post game there en route. I mean, they are just, you watch it every night. I mean, even though you haven't been doing this for months and you're lounging there in Bend and drinking beer with the white people and walking dogs and all that, playing a little golf. I mean, floating the river. I mean, the other day.
Is there ever going to be, at what point, what's the over-under on you not mentioning white people?
I don't know.
Like August sometime?
No. Well, I just, like the other day, listener and viewer, when I said, hey, let's do just a trial run, for the show. And he goes, yeah, I'm busy right now. I'm floating the river. And I'm like, that's such a white Bend person thing to do. Floating the river.
Okay, come on. Come on.
I'm making fun of you because
I don't care
jealous.
If you're a black person, brown person, yellow person, whatever color person you are, floating in a river on a 95-degree day. Come on, that's just not a white person thing.
Oh, I think it is.
No, it isn't.
I think it is.
No, it isn't.
Let's let people decide whether or not.
Okay, I want to talk to Chris Kidd and say, Kidd.
Well, you want to get him on the show? Hey, Chris.
Kidd won't come to Bend. I know he won't come to Bend, but I'll just throw the hypothetical out there. Yeah. Kidd, what do you think? $26, they give you a raft, you have a shuttle, float a river for an hour and a half.
He doesn't like, don't you remember, Chris doesn't like water.
That's right.
Chris, do you think Chris is going to jump in an inner tube and float the river when he wouldn't come on like a boat with us? And I'm like, Chris, it's a boat. You're not going to be in the water. Yeah.
Maybe not. But if you fall out of a tube on the Deschutes River, it's pretty shallow.
I love it. Come on.
When you come down here, if you have time, I would love.
I'm going to come down and visit. Yes.
I mean, and you got to get me into that fancy steak place too that your buddy runs, because that's a pricey joint. I'm expecting. Since I'm doing this for free, out of the goodness of my heart.
You're right. I'll take.
I expect a free steak dinner at your buddy's place.
Okay, you're in. Right. So, do you think Julio's turning it around? If he looks like it, you're right. This 6-game sample so far, he looks like he's getting going, and I hope, because they need him. I was going to say, Gilbert said it last night, that they are just completely different. I know it's obvious to everyone before we got sidetracked on the floating of the Deschutes, that they are just a much different baseball team when he's going. He makes everybody better, and it's like, duh.
No, I know. Did you really feel like you needed to say that? Like, do you think there's a listener or a watcher at pucksports.com or wherever you find this podcast?
YouTube,
Spotify,
Apple, Spotify,
Hulu, Fubo, all that.
Fubo.
Do you think anybody out there is going,
when are we going to be on?
Man, you know what? Until Jason Puckett told me today that this team is better when Julio gets it going, I wouldn't have known that. That's why I tune into this podcast, because I get those nuggets.
Hey, smart ass. I was just repeating what Gilbert said. Why don't you take out your anger on Gilbert? Not me.
No, I know. Well, Logan Gilbert didn't need to say that.
But he just
I mean, what do you think it is? What do you think it is? Because he had 3 hitting coaches here. He flew in some guy. I think to me, I can only compare it to golf. Like, when you get too many things going on in your head, 100%. And I think you did say this on one of your daily puck drops. It's like,
it's the same thing.
God, after a while, man, you can't be up there thinking about anything but just being who you are as a player.
You got to rip the ball and go. Right? These guys that use the TrackMan and the video and all this stuff, you get overwhelmed by all of the information. And sometimes, Jack Nicklaus, and I know you're going to say, well, the game is different. I mean, we're talking about the best golfer, him and Tiger, of all time. And he would get up there, and Scheffler's even talked about this, where he gets away from the video and the voices and all that, and just listens and feels the sound of the ball off the club. Well, I know it. I know I hit it off. Everybody knows that when you hit a ball. If you've been playing golf I hit it off the heel. I hit it off the toe. That's the same thing, I think, sometimes for Julio. And I think he said it after the game yesterday. I think his line was, reading in Divish's game story, something about, I just went out there and tried to play the game as a kid.
Yeah.
That's so exactly right. Go play. See, we tell this to the 11-year-olds. See the ball, hit the ball. Catch the ball, throw the ball. It's just not that. I mean, honestly, we make it too complicated and too hard.
Well, yeah, and as far as is it sustainable? You brought up the fact that he's been good in these months, or this is when he gets it going. But I mean, what about your surprise level for him finally getting it going, if that's what's happening? Because I was starting to think that maybe this Julio that we've seen in the last few months
is the real one.
Yeah, might be. I mean, were you starting to doubt?
No.
I mean, people had to start to doubt. I did.
No, I don't think I got there. I felt that he's 23. He's putting a lot of pressure on himself. He wants to deliver on the contract. Corbin Carroll's going through the same thing right now with Arizona. He's not been good. I just think these are the ebbs and flows of baseball. No, I never thought that.
Bichette hasn't been good.
Yeah, I don't think doubt crept in my mind that did they screw up on the contract. No, not yet. No.
Yeah. Well, keep him at cleanup.
Sure.
Keep him there until things change, if they do. But no, I like him hitting fourth.
Did you want Gilbert to stay in, even despite giving up the home run, and finish the 8th? I did, and I really did want him to go back out for the 9th. I'm just old school.
Well, I did too, but I'm glad that he didn't go out for the 9th after what we saw in the 9th. That might have been That might have been the funnest part of the game, seeing Santos in his debut with those high tops. Throwing 100 miles an hour and then going after Profar, that was awesome.
I think that was the most fun game that was the best and the most fun I've had watching a Mariners game this year. Was last night.
Was it?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you got Raleigh hitting from both sides, home runs, and then Julio.
You had Julio, Raleigh, Gilbert. And then
Gilbert was great.
And then you're waiting for Santos, right? We've been waiting for him to make his debut. He comes out and right away starts talking shit to Jerks and Profar. I mean, right, the first pitch, slider inside, or it was a fastball inside, and then it just like he barks at him, Santos back at him, and then they have a running dialogue during the at-bat.
Profar had it coming too, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, what did he think that he was throwing at him? That's the first time he's been out there in how long? And if he's a little wild, not the first time of the season he was out there, but I mean, he's wild probably because he hasn't been out there for a while or whatever. Maybe he's effectively wild like that all the time, but
don't you like his attitude on the mound? He's got a little craziness, like kind of. He could be a kind of a loose screw upstairs, kind of a Fernando Rodney vibe to him. And then this like anger, I'm going to hit you if you talk to me, Arthur Rhodes little vibe to him as well. This is what this team needs. I've always felt, now it's hard to get it from a relief pitcher, but they have, like, the last few years, right? They've just kind of been a bunch of nice guys. They need a couple guys like this who are willing to throw the glove down and I will kick your ass if you look at me the wrong way.
No, Santos looks like he'll be the first guy out of the bullpen when there's a fight on the field.
and kick somebody's ass.
He'll be throwing haymakers with rights and lefts and just coming at you. I loved it. I mean, we've been waiting a long time, and usually I was talking to the kids about it last night. Usually when they project so-and-so is going to come back at a certain point, it's always later than that. And I think this is right about the timeline that they figured for him. I figured he'd be out the whole year. Yeah. And now to see what he looked like last night, what a good spot to bring him in, too. You have a 5-run lead. He's got a nice cushion. He can just go out there. And
he was
great. And then your buddy Polanco, that was a nice little error he made there at second, wasn't it? I mean, a little leaguer could have made that play. Well, that ball was like up here. It was like, how do you miss that? It wasn't a short hop. It wasn't a hot hit. I mean, who was it?
Is the Dan Wilson on last night? Yeah, right?
Yeah, but get the snoring thing going. We love Dan Wilson, but I mean, you were in the clubhouse when Dan Wilson played here, right? He wasn't the go-to guy for quotes.
No, but I love Dan last night. He's like, that was a tough play to make, tough play. Tough play?
Did he say that on that play?
Yes.
That was not tough at all.
Yes, he said it. That's
Scale of 1 to 10 in toughness, that was
Come
a 1.
on, that was the easiest. They've got to get rid of that guy now.
No, they don't. He had 2 hits last night.
Just get rid of him. Come on. Who would you rather see play second, him or Dylan Moore?
Well, Dylan Moore, I'd rather see Bliss there, too.
Sure. Just do it.
Even though your guy, well, I don't know. Is there some thought? Was it Duquette who said this about a scout saying that, if you play Bliss more often?
No, I got a buddy that's a scout that said that Bliss he'll get exposed.
No, but I told you that was one of my hot takes back in the day.
You were on the Ryan Bliss fan club. I know you were.
I thought I read that what they liked in that trade more than Canzone and Rojas was Bliss. So I want to see more of him. Don't you want to see more of him? I mean, he's a speedy guy.
I would rather see less. And then Polanco.
He's Altuve-like size-wise.
Yeah.
You want to see less Polanco?
Less Polanco. Yes.
Okay.
All right. I'd like to see a little bit more Victor Robles because, I mean, you know what? He's going to play more because I guess Canzone, they're going to do MRI on Canzone, so we'll see how long he's going to be out for I think they have like a abductor groin injury. And so he injured it the other day, but re-injured it yesterday. So
are you in or out on Canzone?
Out.
You're completely out?
Yeah.
He's got pop.
Yeah, but he can't throw. And that's a liability when you're in right field.
Yeah.
He can't
throw. Then what? You want more of Mitch?
No, I just said it. I think more Victor Robles, and then I want them to go out and find a right fielder, Luis Robert Jr. They got to make a deal. They've got to find someone who can play right field. Lane Thomas with the Nationals, somebody. They've got to find a piece out there. And I know there's a bunch of teams that are going to sit there and, a bunch of trade proposals and a bunch of teams are still in it and all that. It's going to be heavy competition, but man, they've got to make a move, right? They can't just sit there on their tush and not make a move here at the deadline of a significant impact.
No, you're right. I mean, and it has to be 1 or 2, preferably 2 moves. Because, I mean, that lineup, it looked great last night, but what's it going to look like today? They're underdogs today. Hey, by the way to lose all your listeners' money with that bet that you're making.
It's only 4 games under 500. The bet M's under summer were 28-30-2. 28-32-2. My bad. 28-32-2.
I was following you for a while on that.
Oh, you're off now?
Well, I'm off now because my betting account, I'm basically down to.
Oh, shocker! So you're not.
I tried to put $10 on the under last night.
You don't have $10 in your.
No, I'm down. Okay, let me ask you a quick question though.
Maybe that's your problem.
Let me ask you a quick question. Like everybody thinks I'm a loser when it comes to gambling, and
no one thinks that. You think that.
No. Like God, like that smoke and lock of the week thing I used to do. God, thanks for making me money. I always went opposite you. Okay, is this winning or losing in your book? All right. Okay. I put $850 in my betting account September of 2022. Okay. So we're like 22 months into it. and I have not withdrawn any money and I've not deposited any money, but I'm down to about $50 in my account right now because I bet on the M's last night.
What are we? So we're going almost 2 years.
2 years, and I've lost $800. Do you consider that winning or losing?
That's a win.
Because most people would say, well, no, you lost $800. How could that be? So recreationally speaking, I've had so much entertainment on that $850 that I'm with you. I feel like a winner.
Yeah. All right. You want to move on from the Mariners? I want to play you something from John Canzano. You remember John Canzano? He says hi, by the way.
I love John.
You've been on his show, haven't you?
Been on his show. Yeah, a couple times.
Okay. That's
good
weird.
Guy.
I don't think I've been on. I don't think I've been invited on. All right. On this week's show, he talked about how it's getting closer. It's getting closer for a perhaps reverse Mountain West, Oregon State, Washington State merger. I want you to listen to this.
One of the concepts that's being kind of kicked around is that could you do a reverse merger? Everybody has 2 years to get to a floor on what you spend in your athletic department. And let's just say hypothetically that floor is something like $60 million. And so that gives the schools in the Mountain West Conference, everybody kind of merges in, and then you have 2 years to decide, do you have the money to compete? I think this is going to happen in other conferences eventually anyway.
Do you like this reverse merger idea? So what the idea?
So we would become part of the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah, but the idea of it is because he was saying that Washington State and Oregon State, they're leery to poach these teams because, right? They don't want to be like what these other conferences did to them. So their idea, their workaround it's kind of like a reverse merger. Everybody is welcomed in for 2 years, but you have to meet a certain threshold for how much money you spend on football. And he just said, I'm throwing a number out there. Let's say it's 60 million. And so the idea is those teams that you really don't want, the San Jose States of the world, Wyoming, they're going to they won't be able to do it in 2 years. So you'll X them out without having to tell them you're out anyways. So they're making the decision to be out. Do you like that idea? You don't like it?
It's okay. It's okay. I don't like any of what's going on out there, including what you just mentioned there.
Well, I know you don't like that. Yeah, but
I don't like it.
All right.
I don't know what's the alternative.
I don't know what the alternative. I don't unless something changes here in the next 2 years. I think the alternative is that the Big 12, who is just going to gobble up every other last team. I mean, they're talking apparently Florida State and Clemson, or no, that's Florida State. Yeah, the SEC and the Big 10 have told them, no, we're out. We don't want you guys. And so the Big 10 or the Big 12 is going to try and get Florida State and Clemson. And now I guess the hope would be that you could find a home in the Big 12.
That would be better than where we are right now if we can get the Big 12. But
of course.
God,
I know you hate all of it.
No, I do, and I think about it quite a bit. Like when the Pac-12 network went off the end of June.
Sad.
I mean, God, it's really sad.
You know what's happening tonight as we record this on Wednesday, right? It's the Pac-2 Media Day at the Bellagio. Canzano is there. They only invited a select few media members, so it's Canzano. I assume John Wilner is there. I assume like Yogi Roth is there.
Why wouldn't they have invited everybody?
I don't know. I don't know. They probably don't, because it's not even really a media day. It's a cocktail party. So they invited the coaches, like Bray is there, Dickert's there. Fingers crossed. Dickert's wife is there. Bellagio, Vegas. No. The players are there. Some selected players are there. It's just like a cocktail party. They're just like walking around with drinks and some cocktail weenies, and that's it. I mean, it's kind of I don't know if it's pathetic. It is pathetic, but it's sad. It just is. It is. It's sad.
Yeah, I guess I'm with you. Go ahead, do the reverse merger, do whatever you have to do. I heard you talking about Riley and what he's making, $600,000.
$600,000.
We're kind of coming down a little bit, but it's tough to think that when we are excited about USC and UCLA and Oregon coming to Martin Stadium, and what do we have in place now? Air Force and
Fresno State
and Texas Tech is our big game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's going to be a weird feeling in the fall, is it not?
Oh, it's irritating. I'm still going to go over to a couple games.
Good.
I mean, yeah. So I'm going to get over there. You know, part of it is just enjoying it, but it's going to be a different feel to it.
Yeah, it's going to be
basketball. I'm more excited about.
Well, because it's a better basketball conference. Well, it's kind of a
Plus, I think
it's not a better basketball conference.
But I think we're going to be sneaky good in basketball, according to my two experts that live with me.
Well, your two experts are great kids. They know their basketball. I'll tell you that. All right, let's. I want to wrap it up here with Hey, What the Puck. It's an abbreviated daily puck drop today, just because we had some technical problems to get started and get underway.
Yeah,
and
all my fault. All my fault.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Listen, it was my fault on the first show because I didn't have the right mic setting. Sounded like an idiot.
Yeah,
but not today. I want to give you a quick. I don't know if you saw this. This is an all-time box score in Little League. Speaking of all-star stuff. So I got a buddy who lives down in Vancouver, and I'm following his kid. His kid's the same age as Owen. All right, so 11 years old. And I was just following their games just to see, how they doing. Are they going to get to state and all that kind of stuff? Right? They got a good little team down there. And I see his box score of his game, and I thought it was I'm like, there's no way this is true. My buddy's team, who is out of Vancouver, like the Philida area, if anyone knows where that it's at. They beat their first team out of North Clark All-Stars 45-0.
Come on. They don't shut it down after 3 innings?
Yes, it is. 3 innings is the mercy rule. 3 innings. It's not official until you're down. You're mercied when you are down by 15 after 3, and then it's 10 after 4. So they scored.
This was an all-star game?
All-star. It's an all-star tournament. They scored 21 runs in the top of the first, 14 in the second, and 10 more in the third. They had I don't mean a lot. They
have like 38 walks?
30 hits. They had 30 hits. The other team committed 14 errors.
Well,
my buddy said it was the most agonizing, painful thing that he's ever watched in his life.
Okay, the thing that occurred to me, if that's Clark Little League, the team that had 0.
Yeah.
If that's the all-star team, what do you think the league play was like?
I don't know. Just
that had to be horrible.
I mean, that is a tough one, isn't it, man? That is just a tough one, man. 45-0. And people say, well, what's going on? There's nothing they can do because people are like, why did they stop it after 1? They can't. Can't stop it after 1. Can't stop it after 2. It's not a game until it's after 3. Those are the rules.
Yeah, it reminds me my first when I was a color analyst for a Little League All-Star game in Ketchikan, Alaska.
Oh, we need video of that.
It just reminds me. It was Juneau against Wrangell, and Wrangell is small town, and Wrangell was so awful, and it was an All-Star team.
Yeah.
And during the breaks, I was just I wasn't ripping on the Wrangell kid. Well, yes, I guess.
You were. You're ripping on a bunch of.
I was ripping on the Wrangell kids to the guy, the play-by-play guy, and I was like, God, can you believe how bad these kids are, man? If this is the All-Star team, imagine what the league play was like.
And what do you got? You're a hot mic, weren't you?
It was a hot mic because it was a public. What do you call it? Like
public radio.
Public radio in Wrangell. Yeah, and so they weren't covering over during the breaks. Then the program director came running into the press box, and I got lifted.
Yeah.
I didn't even make it for the rest of the game. They yanked me out of the press box.
As they should have.
God, ripping these 12-year-olds from Wrangell, Alaska.
All right,
those kids were awful, though.
I got another story for you. Hey, What the Puck on the Daily Puck Drop. All right, you ready for this one? I thought of you immediately, and I know you've seen this by now. This was Oklahoma State head coach Mike Gundy at the Big 12 Media Day. Do you know the story about this, what I'm about to play?
This week's Media Day? No.
Okay, so I'll set it up then. His star running back, Ollie Gordon, back in June, was arrested for a DUI, okay? So this is Gundy addressing this yesterday at the Big 12 Media Day.
So I looked it up on my phone. What would be the legal limit? Like in Oklahoma is 0.08 and Ollie was 0.1. So I looked it up and it was based on body weight. not to get into the legal side of it, but I thought really 2 or 3 beers or 4. I'm not justifying what Ollie did. I'm telling you what decision I made. Well, I thought I've probably done that 1,000 times in my life. And it's just fine. So I got lucky. People get lucky. Ollie made a decision that he wished he could have done better. But when I talked to Ollie, I told him, I said, you're lucky you got out light.
So he's not suspending him. He said his punishment is going to be he's going to carry the ball 50 times in the first game. Now, I'm not trying to
break because he's giving him a break because he thought, God, he was only 0.1, so he probably only had 4 beers, and if he was 0.2, I might come down a little. And then even admitting that he himself is driving drunk.
But he admitted something out loud that's the truth because everyone's done it. Everyone has gotten behind a car after 3 beers and has driven home. Everybody has.
Yeah.
Everybody has. Now, whether it's like 3 in an hour or 3 over 3 hours, whatever, but everyone's done it. And so he said it out loud, and that's why people are coming down on him hard. I just say, listen, thank you, River or Sky. He admitted to it. And I think his point was not to be like, I do it all the time. What was a big deal? I think the point was like, maybe I've got something to learn. Like he got popped. I've done it 1,000 times. And he said it. I got lucky and didn't get arrested. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I thought of you immediately.
Well, you thought of me because you think, Jim's probably done that 1,000,000 times.
No,
I used to.
Yeah, I knew you were coming on today.
And then I feel like I've used up my credits in that department.
Yeah,
don't you? I don't do it anymore.
Neither do I, but I've done it in the past, and and I'm lucky, like Gundy's. You can't do it. You do it more. You do it especially when you're younger, and it's just you think back and you go, God, that was stupid. Yeah.
Well, how many DUIs do you think you could have had?
Oh, I don't know.
I think I could have had 8 or 10.
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Probably like in the 70s and 80s,
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on that happy note.
Voicemail line is open. Pucksports.com.
God, Jim Moore admitted that he's a drunk today on Pucksports.com. He gambles too much.
I'll use it for the little clip to promote it. Hey, voicemails are back. We'll play the best ones on Fridays, 425-577-7272. Get them in early because I'd like to play them. Usually I play them later, but I'd like to play them for you there on Friday when you're back in.
Yeah, 11:30 was my favorite segment.
I know. It was a great segment.
God, I loved it. I miss it.
I know. Let's try and get them back. Voicemails, please. Jim Moore is back Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. How hot is it down there today? Apparently it's going to be 100 degrees up here.
Oh, it's supposed to be 100 here.
What do you do in the 100? Do you do anything? I
went out on the river yesterday. I mean, I didn't go on the river, but I took the dogs out there so they could swim, and it was kind of shady out there. So
God, it's just too hot. I don't know what to do. I just sit around. I drove my son to Dave and his buddies to Dave and Buster's yesterday in Bellevue just to sit inside.
Yeah, and then I dropped Stevie's girlfriend off at the airport, and Juniper Golf Course right there by the Redmond Airport. So I
hit some golf balls?
Hit a bucket last
when it was 100 degrees?
That was probably 90 at that point.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to you on Friday.
Okay, Puck. Thanks for having me.
Love you. There he is, Jim Moore, the go-to guy on the Daily Puck Drop. Of course, we do it every single day. We drop it at 10 a.m. Jim's on the Daily Puck Drop Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We'll eventually talk him into doing it probably every day. We're in the Puck Sports Studios. It's built by Limback Lumber. Come on. It'll be fun.
I'm retired. Come on.
I know you're retired. I know. All right. It is a Wednesday, so Ryan Divish is coming up later today from the Seattle Times. I'll tell him that you said hi. So until then, as always, we promise to be better.
Shirt, no shoes, no dice.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!